Welcome to Out Here in the Redwoods. Today we have a very special treat for you. A young actor in the adult film industry has decided to join us today. Not only is he an actor, but a company. Today we're going to find out a little bit more about Bray Love. Thanks so much for joining us today,
problem.
Bray. How are you doing?
Good, how are you?
Fantastic. And so you're from out of the area. How was the drive?
Empty, no cell reception.
Oh, bummer.
But it was nice.
Excellent, excellent. And so you mostly are based in where?
San Francisco.
Excellent, out of San Francisco. That's not a surprise. San Francisco is a big spot for that. And what exactly do you do?
I model in adult films, and I also produce for my own company, Frat Meal.
Excellent, excellent. How did you get into production?
I lived in Sacramento, and one of my friends was modeling for a company, and I guess he showed my picture to them, and they called me like the next day and asked me if I wanted to do it. And at first I was unsure about it because I'd like never met anybody who was in the industry. Mm-hmm. And I took a night with one of my best friends, and a night of drinking, and during that time I decided that I wanted to do it. Mainly because I do like the film and the cameras, and it's always interested me. I took a bit of photography classes, and
excellent.
So I wanted to get in front of actually filming cameras.
Right on. Fantastic, fantastic. Now, is there a point where someone decides, like, this is what I'm going to do with my life, or is it just more of it just kind of falls to you?
In my personal experience, it was more of a spur of the moment, like,
Mm-hmm.
that sounds fun. Most of guys I know would say they want to be porn stars or whatever because, they like sex, but mine was just like a spur of the moment, like, it's a new experience, a new adventure.
Fantastic, fantastic. Now, you did say a lot of people might choose it or think they might choose it because they like sex. Mm-hmm. Is that kind of one of the job requirements or career requirements for it?
Liking sex?
Yeah,
I guess you don't have to.
A desire to like want to do it all the time, or is it more professional?
There's professional aspects to it, mm-hmm. but you have to like sex to do it.
No, sure. Right on.
Because it's totally obvious if you're not interested in what you're doing.
Oh, well, that makes a lot of sense. So. That makes a lot of sense. And so you did mention a little bit about when you came to this. Was there a particular age that you felt like this is appropriate for me to do this?
Actually, beforehand, when like 2 weeks after I turned 18, I started doing the webcam modeling.
Oh, perfect time.
Yeah, so I did a little bit of that, so I kind of dipped into it. It's just mm-hmm. a lot different with people around, and the whole crew and the lighting, and it's totally different from being inside your own home. So I had a little bit of experience, but not this kind of experience.
Right on. Did you, when you first started with the webcamming a little bit, did you anticipate that this is where it was going to go and that you were going to be making a career?
No, I didn't. I just thought it was a little side job. I was going to Yuba College at the time.
Oh, right
so
on.
it was just like a little side cash for me.
Right on. What were you studying at Yuba College, if I can ask?
I was studying web design and just my general ed.
Right on. Well, web design, I saw some of your websites. You were fantastic, so you must have learned something.
Yeah.
Excellent.
And I use that now.
Awesome.
So I do all of my own websites right now.
Killer.
And then I studied at City College in San Francisco. I studied business and marketing and
excellent.
Everything else I need for my own company to get that started.
Right on. And your company is started right now, or it's in the process?
It's a year and a half old. I already have 3 films that are out already, and I have my 10 video on demand distributors, and I have my DVD distributor, Porn Team. They treat me really well, and yeah.
Fantastic. That's really amazing. These are, it's kind of one of those things that people don't usually think about. You're still a regular guy, right?
Yeah, I am. I'm actually pretty relaxed. It's funny because when I do events and stuff like I'm going to be doing tonight, people come up to me and they're like, well, I thought you were going to be stuck up because, you do porn and all that, and it's really not like that. Like, I'm just like any one of you. I still have my little hobbies. I'm weird. I'm goofy.
Right on. Hobbies, what do you do?
I mean, a lot of stuff that falls into the business, like photography and web design, even if it's not for this, I still work on websites that are un-adult related.
Oh, awesome, awesome. So you've got a website company, photography company. That sounds fantastic.
Yeah.
Right on, right on. All right, so you did mention San Francisco and Sacramento. Where did you grow up?
I was born in Santa Rosa, and then my family moved me to Oregon for about 10 years. And then when I was like 14, my mom and I had some issues, so I ended up moving out, and I moved to Portland for a little bit. I lived there for like 3 months, and then I slowly moved down to California. I lived in Redding, like pretty much anywhere in between Medford, Oregon, and San Francisco. And I actually plan on continuing down south to San Diego.
Right on, right on. I'm sure in your business it'll be pretty easy, to set up shop and stuff. Other places.
Yeah, I have a lot of connections in San Diego who are in the industry.
Makes it so easy.
Yep.
Makes it so easy. Do you have inspiration that brought you to the industry when you were traveling around being younger?
Really, most of the inspiration came later on when I was, starting the company, and Cocky Boys, Jake Jackson. I've been following him since I started the company, and he's a lot of my inspiration because he pretty much same situation. We have some similar situations, and I've seen now his company is like soaring, and it's one of the top companies. So I've been observing and kind of taking notes and talking with him.
Fantastic, fantastic. That's neat that you have the opportunity to actually do business with someone that was inspiring to you. Usually it's like, oh, my celebrity inspiration, and this is actually tangible for you.
And they don't take it as competition.
That's fantastic.
I mean, most people would be like, oh, well, that's competition, so I don't want to deal with that. I don't want to help. But Jake Jackson's really a sweetheart, and we've talked, and I'm observing his videos and, seeing what he does because he's so creative, and I'm trying to get into more of the creative aspect of the industry instead of just people having sex.
Totally. I mean, and when you think about the industry, there's the one thing that comes to mind. When you say creative, what exactly do you mean?
So when I started Frat Mail, I went into it. I was sitting down with Joe Cerna from Defiant, which was a big company in San Francisco, like 10 years ago, and I was like, I want to start filming my own porn, but I want my personality and my creative side to come out in it. And so when we filmed our first movie, House Party, it was pretty much more of a realistic type thing. It wasn't like airbrushed makeup boys or anything like that. It was very, very realistic, and pretty much it was a frat guy party, and I left like all the bloopers and all that stuff that normally gets cut out. I left in the movie, like the bed falling over and all that, in there to show there is creativity and a different side of porn that you don't always see.
Really, that's interesting. I'm very interested when you say when you filmed your first movie, you set up a party. Did you actually set it up? I mean, how do you go about planning something like that?
It was more of, I contacted the models and was like, this is what we're doing, and pretty much it wasn't like, let's have a party. I invited them over and to the place we were filming, and I pretty much let them do what they do, what they would normally do in that kind of situation, or what, I kind of let things go by ear. Okay. And let them kind of get a feel for what they're doing, and let them do it how they want to do it, instead of telling them this is what you do and this is how I want it. Right on.
Sounds like you're like kind of an improvisational director.
Yeah, very much so.
Right on. I guess that must be refreshing to work with.
Because as a model, and that's the good part about this, is that I modeled before doing this company, and I was more into like doing what I wanted, but it's much easier and much more relaxed, and people are more comfortable, because it can be hard to be told what to do, and you have to do it right now, or we have to cut and figure it out.
Yeah, especially when you're relying on yourself and your own kind of body to do those things. It must be kind of difficult to have to perform right then.
Yeah.
Right on. One of the things that I'm particularly interested in is your Bray. It sounds like a really exciting life that you've led so far. How many years did it take you to get here?
I'm 21. I'll be 22 in October.
Right on.
Yeah.
Right on. Excellent. Excellent. Some of the things that some people kind of wonder about, when you're in the industry and you're doing it every day kind of a thing, what are some of the things that you need to do for maintenance? Not necessarily like diet and exercise, but what are some of the other more like holistic whole body things that you need to do to make sure that you're the best that you can be in your job? Like wellness checks that you need to go through, like STD tests or anything like that? Or are you like one of those that only uses protection?
Regardless of using condoms in porn, you still have to get tested. All of my models are tested, and I typically don't film bareback porn because of the risk, regardless of if models have been tested. There was one exception because it was a couple who had been together for 4 years, and behind closed doors, they're doing what they do anyways. And I couldn't be the one to tell them, well, now you have to wear a condom because, you're in front of the camera. But that was they're consenting adults, so that was their deal. And they were tested beforehand.
Right on, right on. Is there like a time frame of how often you need to be tested, or is it just like one test and you're good to go?
No, I get tested every 3 months. And if I'm filming, like, they'll be like, if I got tested a month ago, if I'm filming, I'll get tested, the day of.
Right.
You have to be very careful.
Totally.
And it's recommended 6 months, but the reality is like every 3 months you should be going to get tested.
Right on, right on. That's definitely some good advice.
Yeah.
Right on. Some of the things that we often wonder about, and also in the same tested. Are there any other things that you need to be considerate of when you're dealing with other people like that? Any kind of like things that you must do before a shoot just to be polite for somebody else?
Shower. Because I've had people come in and not showered, and I'm just like, oh my God. Yeah, I recommend showering before filming.
Fantastic. I'll remember that. So when you are filming, one of the biggest questions I think, especially about someone in the industry, do mom and dad know?
I'm honestly not sure. I know that my grandma found out recently, and I guess she found out through Facebook or something. She clicked on a link that she probably shouldn't have clicked on, and she found out, and she sent me this email, and she's like, so I clicked on this link, because she doesn't know Facebook. She's,
Right.
in her 60s. And she's like, so I clicked on this link, and it took me this website, and it was like these videos, and I was like, oh, crap. And, but in the end, she was like, I still love you regardless, and what you're doing is what you're doing, and as long as you're happy. So.
That's a really awesome response, especially for finding out in a surprise.
I'm very blessed for that, but
that's fantastic.
as far as my my mom and dad, I don't really know if they know. I'm sure somebody's probably told them by now, but
yeah.
They haven't said anything. So.
Right on. Kind of a don't ask, don't tell in a good way.
Yeah.
Yeah. One of the things that that I personally often wonder about when thinking about the industry, how do you go about keeping yourself safe? Not just safe in terms of like, oh, I'm going to get paid when I need to get paid, but like physically safe. I mean, is there harm?
Are you talking about like from people?
Right. Like the wrong person, the wrong model, the wrong actor. I mean, do you ever fear with the people that you're working with because it is such a sensitive kind of a subject?
There's always going to be bad people in any industry, but as far as the people I've worked with a lot of really good people, and there's always the risk of getting screwed over. But you just look out for just watch your back, just like walking down the street.
Totally.
It's pretty much the same thing.
Totally. One of the things that I did kind of want to hopefully get you to talk about would be kind of the different kinds of things that you do, or maybe the genre. I'm a lesbian. I know lesbian porn. I don't really know what it means when guys do stuff. I mean, I don't even know the differences in guys. So maybe tell the audience, those that don't know, what kind of a guy you are and what kind of stuff you might do.
So when I started Frat Mail, I knew that I wanted college guys, and that's because I'm in that college age, and that's the kind of stuff that I like. So I knew that I wanted to film college guys, which became Frat Mail, and I wanted it to be realistic, obviously, like I said before, and just like the guy next door, you know, the mysterious, like, you know, you wouldn't expect this guy to be, you know, on film doing what he's doing.
Right on, right on. That's really neat. That's really neat. I know there's a lot of people that do that for women. It's just so interesting finding out the guy side of it.
Yeah.
You know, is there a situation where you personally, like, especially when you were first starting out, when you personally felt like maybe I shouldn't do this and you didn't, and you felt like it was the right decision?
Honestly, like, most of the opportunities I've had, I've taken,
Awesome.
unless I really can't because of, you know, timing or work or, you know, because I work at a store full time additionally to this. But I've taken most of my opportunities and I haven't regretted anything.
Right on, right on. So,
So-
you do have a day job.
Yeah.
That is another question that it's nice it's nice to get answered. You know, I mean, you always wonder, like, oh, big stars, you know, but it's nice that you're going out there with everybody else and breaking bread or whatever it is
Yeah.
that we do. Right on, right on. One of the things that definitely comes to mind, especially when we're dealing with this kind of subject matter, being an actor in this industry, folks must, I mean, most folks seem it like it has a shelf life. You know, like you can only do it for so long. Do you have plans for the future, or you're in it to win it?
Well, I'm still young. I have a lot of time ahead of me. Regardless of if they want me or not, I will be in it. I plan on taking frat mail a lot further than, I mean, it's only a year and a half old, so it still has a very, very long life ahead of it. And so do I. I plan on doing a lot more films within the next year.
Right on.
Yeah.
Right on. Right on. Right on. Sounds like you've got a lot of really good short-term stuff. Do you plan on being an actor maybe for other kinds of films, or are you pretty much set on the adult acting industry?
No, I'm definitely not only set on the adult industry acting. I really, really want to get into, I want to start filming indie films too, like
Right on.
kind of softcore porn, maybe a little bit of that, but I want to definitely go into more of a storyline beyond this. I feel like there's a lot more I can explore.
Right on, right on. I definitely look forward to seeing what Frat Mail put out in terms of more of the softcore story stuff.
Yeah.
You know, for lesbians, it's not super important, but you know, the other half of the industry, that's fantastic. That's fantastic. Would it be? Would it be Frat Mail, the company that you would want to explore doing more indie films with, or would it maybe be another production company or production name that you would want to put on the more indie films?
I think when I get Frat Mail where I want it to be is when I'll start diving into the indie films, because I will need a lot more of a budget, and I'd like to use some bigger names in it. I mean, as far as like Hollywood actors and stuff like that, like the more amateur ones, but still it's more of a budget in that. I will probably branch out and have, you know, multiple Frat Mail and multiple other companies branching off of it.
Right on. Is that pretty typical that, you know, you would have one company, and then when you do other things, like make other companies or other companies that are all tied together?
A lot of companies actually have one parent company and a lot of sub studios branching off of them, so they get all the genres of, you know, porn, so they can kind of get all the audience that they want.
Right on, right on. That's very interesting. It's neat to find out about the production studios and that aspect of it. Can I ask what you're reading right now? On to more normal kinds of stuff.
What do you mean?
Are you reading anything right now? Do you read books? Do you watch movies?
I watch a lot of movies. I don't watch much TV at all.
Right on.
I watch movies before I go to sleep. That's about it. Other than that, I mainly just work. I spend some time doing photography, web design all the time. Those are my interests. I don't sit down and read books as often as I should.
Oh no, not necessarily that. It's about doing what you love, you know.
Yeah,
and if you don't have any free time because it's busy doing what you love.
I need to sit down and watch Eat, Pray, Love, because I made a vow that before I retire from porn, I will make Eat, Pray, Love.
Right on.
So that's one of my goals, and it will happen before I get out of here.
Huh, wasn't it Julia Roberts that was
Yeah.
in that movie?
Yeah, and I haven't seen it yet, and everybody's been telling me that I need to film that.
Yeah.
So
That would be
it's in the
super
plans.
cute.
It's in the plans.
Right on. We could, yeah. Huh. Right on. I'm sorry, that kind of threw me off for a second. That was super cute and it was totally unexpected. Are you seeing anyone right now, maybe delving into the personal life?
I am not. I'm recently single, and I plan to keep it that way for a little bit, at
Right
least
on.
to kind of find myself a little bit more. And, I don't need anything holding me back from this whole production and
Right.
anything in my personal life right now. So I think it'll be a little bit, but it's definitely in the plans.
Right on, right on. Do you find that having a relationship when you're performing in the adult industry, does it affect it?
It can very much. It can be a lot of drama.
Oh.
But it doesn't always end up like that, but a lot of the times, yeah. I was, in my last relationship, very held back. I could have done a lot more things than, I've done. But, no regrets. And I plan on bettering myself in the company and everything before I tie myself down to anybody or anything.
Fantastic. That's nice to hear. Yeah, it's too bad sometimes business does come first before relationships, but you got to figure out who you are and where you're going before you
Exactly.
can give it to somebody else.
Exactly.
That's awesome. When you travel, what is your main mode of travel? Train, car, bus?
Mostly bus, car.
Bus?
Um,
Bus and car?
My first
You
movie,
fly?
they flew me to Wisconsin.
Oh, nice.
So
Nice.
that was
Okay.
it. It took 2 weeks when it wasn't supposed to. But.
Okay. Oh, are there any things that you would like to share with us, what we can expect from Frat Mail in the next year? I mean, it sounds like you've got some really killer plans.
Most of the ideas are still like on a notepad, but I plan on doing a lot of things. I haven't put everything together. I'm still working out the kinks. So,
Fantastic.
but definitely a new website because I really need one. And I plan on branching out a little bit and adding another smaller studio to Frat Mail.
Fantastic.
Sometime within the next year.
Awesome. What would that studio focus on?
It would mostly be like, outside of the frat guys, which frat guys really covers a lot. Like,
Yeah.
it would be more of the older-ish jocks and stuff like that.
Older jocks, like I just graduated from college and I
Yeah,
was a football
so-
star, or like a professional football star, kinda.
Kind of like continuing on Frat Mail after college,
Oh, nice,
So-
nice. That's a neat concept. What happens after college? Nobody ever really thinks about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally. Well, here with Out in the Redwoods, it's Bray Love, and we were so excited that Bray was able to come and join us today on the show. I don't think this might be in time for the performance this evening, but you can see Bray, or maybe you will have seen him by the time this airs this evening at the Nocturnum Where's Queer Bill Productions. I think it's the Slick Party. Is that what it's
Yeah.
called? The Slick Fetish Dance Party. We are all really excited here, and we're super stoked to see Bray perform. And we would like to invite everyone to find out a little bit more about Bray Love on the web. And where can we do that?
If you go to braylove.com, you can read my biography, see what films I've been in. I post pictures there all the time. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, we're really excited about what braylove.com is going to be bringing to us in the next year. And also, I'll make sure I personally watch for Frat Mail and see what's coming down the pike. It'll be really interesting because I know somebody. That's awesome. That's awesome. Thanks so much for joining us today, Bray. And we're thrilled that you were able to join us on Out Here in the Redwoods.
Thank you.
Sorry about that. I need another moment, if you don't mind. Sorry. So, Bray, this is one of those... Shit, I'm sorry. I just freaking forgot what I was fucking supposed to say. I apologize.
Can we leave this in there?
Oh, how old he is. Okay. I'm sorry.
Some of the outtake reel is fun.
Yeah, I do. I need
Can
that
this be
real
at the
bad.
end of the movie?
We'll make sure we get you a cut specially.
We're gonna put this on credit at the end of what you're doing. That'd be
Yeah, we're gonna
perfect.
collect
That's
up-
fine.
We're gonna collect
That's
up
fine.
Some of these outtakes.
Yeah.
That's
for a
great.
fun
But
reel
remember,
at the end of your
I don't want you. Bob wants to be out of here by 5.
I know. I'm doing the best I can.
So,
Okay.
What time is it now?
it's like he's got a lot to do. So he's 4:22. Let's roll the.
Yeah. We still have 40 minutes.
Yeah.
You sound like such a director.
I
Okay,
know.
so
Yeah.
you're at about approximately 10 minutes worth of
I know.
good quality
Yep.
stuff that we've
So
shot.
now we're going to talk about how old you are. I'm sorry, I need to stop and regroup for a second. I apologize. Bray, being an actor in this industry, folks must